how did you come with this idea of wow?
I came up with this idea, I think, during COVID times. What I observed is that the attention span of students is reducing.
Yeah.
So as you see, they are continuously with gadgets.
Yeah.
They are continuously with screens. But if you can't click a single photo, if you're not still, how can you achieve academic success if your mind is jumping like a monkey? You just can't go there to the final destination of mindfulness without having some preparatory steps. Any activity for you which puts a full stop to your jumping monkey mind, for you it is yoga.
So last time when you had given me this book.
Yeah, so this is what I'm trying to do. I'm nurturing creativity.
There are a lot of stuff which I have already read in this book, which I wouldn't want to tell. I want the audience to read the book and understand what it means.
That's
actually.
Nice, that's nice.
Hey everyone, welcome to yet another episode of Meteor Talks, your go-to podcast for insights on careers and education straight from the industry experts. And before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode of Meteor Talks. Today we are taking a little detour. We are not going to talk about careers, education, courses or degrees. Instead, we are going to talk something different yet exciting. Something about art, colors, creativity and how these can help to calm and center your mind. And the person who's going to guide us through this conversation is just as vibrant and full of life as the subject itself. She's none other than Professor Suniti Vadalkar. She has previously been in our show and shared some valuable insights on liberal arts. But today we are going to explore another side of her. She is a founder of WOW and author of the book Wonders of Wellness. So be ready to explore the journey and the ideas behind WOW. Professor Suniti, welcome back to Meteor Talks. It's indeed a pleasure to have you back and always a delight to chat with you. So last time when you had given me this book, and believe me, when she had given me this book, she asked me to read, and when I started reading it, my reaction was literally wow. This is so interesting and intriguing. So today, instead of me talking about it, I'm more excited to hear from the author herself. So ma'am, before we begin with this, the first thing that I would want to understand is the book's shape. Okay, one thing that first caught me is the shape of the book, which is normally rectangular, and you have given it a square and the vibrant colors on it, the jigsaw puzzles on it. Do you want to start with the book first?
Yeah, it's all about the book. And good you observed the shape of the book. Everything has got a meaning. You know, you go to buy anything that is designer, it has got a premium bit because it is made exclusively for that particular audience. That's the reason why it has a premium attached to it. Similarly, I'm a designer, and if I want to talk to the youth, I need to have something which hooks them to it, not just the colors, but the concept also. So all the three factors which you mentioned just now, the shape, the colors, the jigsaws, everything has got a very distinct meaning to it. Let's go with your first observation. That's the shape being square rather than being rectangular. I was reading another book by K.C. Aryan, Decorative Elements of Indian Art, and I was so pleasantly surprised to read in it that in the ancient Indian culture, square is the shape of the earth.
Okay.
Because it's the most stable shape, so to say. So the meaning that I derived from it is, although we know that the earth is revolving and rotating, none of us are falling off. So it is stable, right? Conventionally, if at all you think of a earth, you think it to be spherical or circular. That's how anybody would draw it. But giving this association to it, that it is the most stable form, came to me as a pleasant surprise. And the author also said that in all the Garbhagrahas in India, in all the temples, regardless of how the shape of the temple is, you could check any temple, east, west, north, south, throughout India. The place where the deity is kept, that's the Garbhagraha, is always a square. Because
I can associate this.
Ah, great.
You know why? Because the rangolis, when we put to place a what is that gut called as? To place a deity. Okay, is normally the Rangoli pattern is square.
Yes. So that is the most stable form, and that's the reason why I thought, in a very subtle way, I wanted to hammer that point, because throughout Wow, my basic message is having that anchoring, having the stability. So how do I put it also in the shape of the book itself, which catches the audience if at all you read it. Even if this book is placed in a bookshelf, it comes a little out, because the conventional width that the rectangular books have got is a little lesser, and this is a little longer. So it will catch the viewer's eye faster than any other rectangular book. That is secondary, but main is the purpose of, it associates so well with the concept of Wow itself. So that's the reason why I took the shape as to be square.
Square.
Now, why are the jigsaws there? So the jigsaw is, in a way, extension to the shape of a square. So the basic shape of a jigsaw itself is square,
Right.
and then you have some semicircular shape coming inside the square and something going outside the square to make it. And because of that, every jigsaw fits into the other jigsaw. And this is to show the linkages between knowledge, because the jigsaws have got the insights into why you should be engaging in a Wow session.
Okay.
Otherwise, it is just an artistic pursuit which may get across as a hobby class, which it is not.
Correct.
Although you begin from there, I wanted the interdisciplinary insights to be the central theme of the entire book. That's why you see that those jigsaws everywhere.
Right.
And when you can see the jigsaws coming apart, and then discovering something. So they are not placed like the jigsaw usually is complete. It is shown as if you're unveiling a secret. So you're discovering something. So you can see those jigsaws.
Yes, for the audience, if you want to see.
You can see those jigsaws, coming off, and then something internal being discovered. So that is the entire purpose. So once you understand all the 30 jigsaws, you will rediscover a very unique you, which you are. And that is the intention of the book, wherein I want to tell all my students and all the participants, regardless, that you are truly Wow. So, because nobody in the world is anything similar like you are. And that's why the name itself is Wow. It is an acronym, Wonders of Wellness. It's very youth friendly, because this is a word which is used by everybody in this generation, 21st century. I know when I was a kid, I never used the word. So it was not that popular when I was a child. Were you using it when you were a child?
No.
Yeah. So it's very Gen Z,
Correct.
or very this generation. So I also wanted the title itself to be very youth friendly. And that's why it's Wow.
Wow.
And thank you. And lastly, the color scheme. According to the color wheel, you have violet and yellow, which are complementary colors. Red and green are complementary, violet and yellow are complementary. They look very good next to each other. That's one reason. Second reason is the meaning of the color itself. Yellow stands for energy. So that's what I wanted to tell students, that you are an ocean of energy and divinity. And violet, according to the chakras also, the 7 chakras, it's right on top. And it's a spiritual color. It's a very regal color, royal color. And that's exactly what I want to tell all students, that each one of you are so unique. And that uniqueness I want to communicate, not just through the content of the book, even through the design of the book.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Amazing. So thoughtfully put together,
Yeah, and one thing that you missed asking me is, why is the lettering not a font, a usual font, which could be Helvetica, Times New Roman?
No, I'm coming to it.
Oh, ask. I thought the 3 questions that you asked were about the shape and the color.
Yeah. So now that you have already put this question, you have asked me, so you can explain it.
Yeah. So another central theme of Wonders of Wellness is flow. So to become stable and anchored, you need to be in a flow state. Now, if I go in for a regular font, it could be Arial, Helvetica, Times New Roman, anything. That is something which is taken and it is very rigid and it is very definite. But like I said, even looking at the book itself, I wanted people to understand there is something different in it. So you see the strokes which are in calligraphy, Wonders
Yes.
of Wellness, the way it is written.
Yes.
And even I won't be able to redo it again, although it's
Okay,
written
for
by
the
me.
audience, I'll show it once. So you can see the script here, which is calligraphy here.
So that's what it is. And I wanted to show the viewers flow through the lettering itself and not just speak about it in one of the jigsaws. So many ideas which are very central as a concept to the book itself, I wanted it to be right on the cover and not wait for the viewer or the reader to open the book and then read so many pages and then understand, oh, that's why the book is like that.
So it should be easily visible.
Visible.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. It's thoughtfully done. So to go back, how did you come with this idea of WOW? And when did you come up with this?
I came up with this idea, I think, during COVID times. And because I'm into academics for the past 18 years now, 20 years, you always come up with ideas looking around you in the vicinity you are. Like, I don't stay in Mumbai, so I don't know what the problems are, but you will be able to tell me, because of the humidity, I need this, that, and the other. So because I'm with the youth every single day, what I observed is that the attention span of students is reducing over the years.
Right.
When I taught 18-20 years back, students did have a greater focus and they were willing to spend more time listening to whatever the faculty is teaching. Have you observed this, that the attention span is reduced? Yeah, see, there you go. And so being a designer, for me, identifying a problem and coming up with a solution. This is how we are all, what do you say, hardwired. So I could see a problem, that the attention span is reducing. And then I was asking myself, but at this age also, I have got immense attention span and focus. So what is it that I'm doing right that these students are not doing? And what is it that they are doing which I am not doing, or doing it lesser than what they're doing? So as you see, they are continuously with gadgets.
Yeah.
They're continuously with screens. And at the speed at which they see, I remember my son when he was in college also, he used to have around, 15, 18 tabs open on the laptop. It was scary for me to even see those, that how can you have the bandwidth of having so many tabs on that laptop? And I asked this question to many parents when I interact with parents, have you seen that on your child's laptop? And they agree to it. So more than 5,000 parents can vouch for this idea. I mean, I have interacted with so many over this topic itself. And then what is the solution? Because I never open up so many tabs. One or two, whatever I'm interacting with, those tabs are open on my laptop. So the premise is that if you can't click a single photograph, such a simple thing, if you're shaking, you can't get a clear photo. In a group photo, have you ever heard people saying, "Arey, still, we are clicking." Okay. Max, you can do is cheese to get your beautiful smile. But then, but if you can't click a single photo, if you're not still, how can you achieve academic success if your mind is jumping like a monkey? And for that, I wanted students to first ensure that their mind settles down and is stable, so that they can gain more from all academic.
Consume more knowledge.
You consume more knowledge. So, and for them to understand that, I introduced the different activities. So basically, it all began from my observations, not only as a professor, but a faculty of design, and identifying a problem that the generation lacks focus, and I should come up with a solution. And that's how this idea came up. And secondly, the arts also, which I have chosen, because the generation needs instant gratification. You see, even if it's
more of a visual world now.
Visual world now. So that's the reason why I took up visual elements.
So then again, I understand that you being into art and creativity, that's how you tried, your thought came, like, you should probably introduce art as a medium to bring about, calm your mind, right? So how did you come out with the idea of calligraphy, or what is the essence of the...
Yeah, good observation. Calligraphy itself has got speed into it. It's very spontaneous. vis-a-vis typography, like I was mentioning different letter forms, they are static in nature and they can be redone. Painting, spontaneous, can't be redone. So I took these medium. Even in painting, I took watercolor, not poster color. Because if you look at poster color or crayons, pencil colors, acrylics, they are more static in nature. You apply the color and in one space, it settles down there very fast. Unlike watercolor, water itself flows. So everything revolves
Again,
around
the
the
flow
concept of
concept.
using flow to gain, to settle down.
Correct.
How do you, and it is so contradictory because you are resorting to flow, which has got movement, to achieve something which gives you stability. So it again, there is a fun element into it.
Correct.
How can this give you that?
So that's so intriguing.
So intriguing. Yeah. And everybody likes some magic to happen. So whether it is calligraphy, which I use, or sketching, or watercolors, all these art forms which I have selected inherently have got movement and speed into it. And what they gift you if you engage with it is a stable mind, because the clutter settles down.
So then, supposing if I write my name, Jyoti, in a calligraphic form, how does it settle my mind?
You will see it, it's experiential. So when you do it, you are not focusing on anything else. You are looking right there at the paper with your chisel marker. So rather than your attention being scattered, it gets gathered into that space of your paper with the tool which you are using. Usually while having calligraphy, you do not draw a baseline or the height of the letter forms. So you're also very focused into seeing a baseline and the X height, the height of your letter forms, which are not existing on the blank sheet of paper. So it is training you to focus.
Okay. So what if a person doesn't know to draw or color, doesn't know to never use sketch pens?
It's not true. You should see the BBC films by Dr. Nigel Spivey, How Art Made the World. Before human civilizations began, before we had any language, before we had societies, all of us in that stone age,
We used
to draw. And neither you nor me nor anybody in the world has begun writing ABCD or any script the way it exactly is. Because the entire joy of holding a pencil or a crayon or a color in hand, the child wants to explore how does it look, how does it move. And I'm so sure everybody in the world, before getting the script right, they were all around the page scribbling. So that itself is spontaneity.
So in a way, like, if I do not write Jyoti in calligraphy format, okay, but I just start scribbling, itself will calm my mind.
Yeah. But that doesn't show you anything aesthetically pleasing to your eyes. So I also need to show the participants something which is so alluring and so mesmerizing that they would want to come back to that activity again. Or at least know for sure that yes, if at all I do this, in just 5 minutes, my mind settles down.
So this is something like, way back I remember in 2000s. Okay, there was a game which was called as Stress Buster. Okay, so where you're supposed to keep hammering. Okay, the hammering till your anxiety or your stress levels have come down. So this would be also similar, but in a very subtle and
no, but then the point that you said is hammering. Now just look at the activity of hammering. Your hand is moving in a faster pace and for a longer distance from the thing that is being hammered to again lifting it to create the pressure to the object which is to be hammered.
Right.
Whereas when you're doing calligraphy, the movement is restricted only to the chisel marker or to the color or pencil which is there. So you're minimizing it. The premise again, when I was thinking of it, eventually WOW is about mindfulness and meditation in a very youth-friendly manner. So I thought as soon as a baby is born, all the 5 senses are racing like race horses. So sight, smell, taste, touch and sound. And suddenly when students come to me in college, when they are 17, 18, I can't tell them now you close your eyes and you do practice mindfulness or pranayam with me. It's so difficult because even before the baby has a name, these 5 senses are like race horses.
Correct.
So how do I keep 2 active, that is sight and touch, and how do I help them withdraw 3 to create a bridge? So smell, sound and taste is withdrawn.
Mm.
So it creates a bridge to first become comfortable that if at all I don't look at a gadget or the screen and just sit here doing this activity, it gives me something which is so pleasing.
Correct.
So making them familiar first with just sitting quietly is a big
Correct.
task.
Hmm.
You just can't go there to the final destination of mindfulness without having some preparatory steps.
So it's the art form of pranayam,
Yeah.
yoga,
Hmm.
okay, the calmness that you get after doing these activities. It's similar,
Yeah.
but in a
Youth-friendly manner.
correct,
Yeah.
exactly. That's amazing.
Yeah, because yoga asanas,
Hmm.
again, because you use the word yoga, conventionally when we think of yoga, even I, before I came up with WOW, I used to think yoga asana is doing yoga on a mat, which most of the people in the world think.
Hmm.
I didn't know how the word itself mentioned in Patanjali Yoga Sutra is yoga chitta vritti nirodha in Sanskrit. So first chapter, second sentence itself says this.
Hmm.
Any activity for you which puts a full stop to your jumping monkey mind, for you it is yoga.
Hmm.
And then what happens? The third sentence in Patanjali Yoga Sutra is even more, astonishing. It says, Tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. Now, for this, you will have to go back to one of the insights to understand what is drashtu swarupa and what is seer and the seen. So, again, this insight comes through one of the jigsaws.
Okay.
So, then you become one with this energy and cosmic energy, and you realize the true potential that you actually have.
That's nice. So I think these activities should be conducted more often
Yeah.
in schools,
Yes.
colleges, or
Yeah.
any education
Yeah.
institutions for the youth to calm down their mind and so that they can concentrate and focus better
Yeah.
in their studies.
Yeah, it should begin in school so that I don't have problem when students come to college. And that's why I am going around. to
And that's when they can consume more
consume
knowledge
more,
also.
because they have that much time. But the educators or the teachers should understand the intention behind it. Otherwise, even they would look at it as a hobby class, which it is not. Because today, in today's era, you have artificial intelligence AI giving you visuals.
Correct.
AI makes music. AI creates films.
Hmm.
So why, when AI is giving me a visual or a painting at the blink of an eyelid, why should I even take the effort to lift my chisel marker for calligraphy or have that entire paraphernalia of a palette and a brush and watercolors, so much of stationery to create the painting which will take me around 1 hour?
Okay.
So what?
That's
So
correct.
that is the difference, and I need to express and share this reason in a very convincing manner to the youth. Otherwise, they will not buy what I'm saying.
Correct. I agree on that. So then when the session starts, when you have, you've been conducting sessions for your students in the Flame University and also for the professors and professionals. Okay. So how do you begin with the session?
Oh, that's very interesting. I first tell all my participants, because you're going to do a right brain activity and all of you are so intelligent, first I should tell you the reason why you should be doing a right brain activity. Because our brain has two hemispheres, left and right.
Right.
So the left hemisphere is very analytical. It is continuously analyzing. It's continuously absorbing data. Correct. The right brain, which is seldom used, is the poetic and the creative and the artistic hemisphere. So I tell everybody in the room, please stand up on your left foot.
Oh.
Only stand up on your left foot without taking the support of anything. See how long can you stand. And in less than 1 minute, somebody in the audience raises their hand that it is impossible for us to stand on our left foot for 1 minute.
Irrespective of a person being a lefty or a righty?
Yeah, regardless. You only stand on your left foot and show me. Like a stock stands in water, please show me that. So the rationale behind, and they experience it because everybody in the class is seeing that, in less than 1 minute, this person raised his hand. And that cohort, everybody is in that cohort. You represent, everybody represents that cohort. So whether they are 17-year-olds or a 55-year-old, somebody is there in the audience who raises their hand. So if this gross body can't bear your weight for even 1 minute, think of your brain which is not seen. All right.
Hmm.
And art is all about emotions. Na? So
Yeah.
I usually ask the audience that what did you have for dinner last, say, what is today, Saturday? Nobody remembers in the entire audience. But do you remember that in school your teacher told you very good, or you got some trophy, and then everybody was clapping for for what you achieved? Everybody remembers. Third standard, seventh standard. Imagine. Then why do you remember that? Because it's an emotion. You felt happy. And art is all about emotions. It's all about engaging with so many navrasas, so many emotions. So when you engage with that, definitely you're going to feel happy. So when the activity which you do, so it first gives a reason as to why you should be spending your time doing this activity, which we will begin in an era when AI gives you everything at the blink of an eyelid.
Okay. So how long does the session normally?
I usually
last?
minimum I need 50 minutes, 45 to 50 minutes
Okay.
to give you a trailer.
Okay.
A trailer. So then, but my sessions for students in Flame University go on for 3 hours on Saturday and 3 hours on Sunday, because we conduct many activities and usually students ask me questions, and it's an immersive thing. So the more you are immersed into it, your take home will be greater.
Okay, so this you were telling me about the students. So you even conducted for the professionals also, right? So how do you find it different in terms of the approaches? How is it different? Is the session, the pattern, the format of the session is also different? And how do you see the outcome?
Definitely for a cohort which is younger, the insights vary. There are two things to the activity, to the endeavor wow. One is the artistic engagements which come through calligraphy, watercolor and sketching, wherein everybody is in square zero. So whether I'm talking to professionals or school students or college students, everybody is in square zero. Nobody has done what I'm trying to share. So that is a given, and that is same for everybody. So one track is same for everybody. What varies is which insight will I open my session with. Again, right brain activity, which I previously mentioned, just stand on your left foot and show me how long, that is common because that's for everybody. But insights in the jigsaws, if I'm talking to school and college students, it begins with interesting acronyms called, best friend forever, BFF, which is not what professionals will speak at an elderly age. They will be concerned more about return on investment, so ROI. So they will be concerned about that. So that also is a jigsaw. BFF also is a jigsaw. But for the younger generation, school and college, I prefer BFF because they can relate to it. When I ask them what is BFF, somebody in the audience only answers.
Yeah.
So they see a connect to it. And how have I tweaked it to give it more meaning, to make it relevant? So the retention is greater because I'm speaking their language.
So you, when you say BFF, are they supposed to write BFF?
No.
Or do anything relating to
No,
BFF?
no. BFF is an insight.
Okay.
So BFF is best friend forever according to this generation.
Yeah.
Again, this is something which didn't exist when I was in school or college. It's very Gen Z. I have tweaked it to belief, focus, flow. So what should be the best belief about yourself, which you don't have? Why should focus be your friend? And why should you be in flow forever?
Interesting.
Yeah. So BFF, I have tweaked it to belief, focus, flow.
Okay. All right. And so you when it comes to students, it is BFF. Okay. And when it comes to the professionals,
it is ROI.
Makes sense.
To begin with, in the trailer session
Okay.
of 45-50 minutes.
Okay. All right. So if somebody, this has to be, if we have to incorporate this kind of a thing, sessions in the schools or colleges, probably it must be more periodically happening. That should be one. And also that this would bring down calm down the students and help them focus better and perform better in their studies. So
And reduce anxiety and depression and everything that is
Yes.
negative.
correct.
Because there is no greater joy than that of creation. You feel so good when you create something. Even if at all you do a mundane task of making a coffee for yourself, and if at all it is just the way you wanted it to be, you feel so good and you want to tell everybody in the world that see the coffee which I made today is so phenomenal.
Yeah.
So imagine if that task could make you feel so great. If you create something in just 5 minutes, how happy are you going to be? And if you keep on adding those pebbles of happiness to you, you will be an ocean of happiness.
Correct. Yeah, that makes sense. And I think it completely is necessary for the professionals also.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, because we also we are so much in a stressful world. We need to calm down, and this activity, and that is the reason why we go for a
Retreats.
spa or retreats or anything of that sort. So being at home, you can actually be in the retreat.
Yeah, perpetual retreat.
Yes. Right. Any message that you would want to give the students, for my students, with respect to any key takeaways?
Key takeaways, you can't achieve success unless you're in the flow. I'm saying it because of my practice of watercolors and what I engage in. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi has said it through his endeavor and through his initiative on flow itself. So this author and psychologist, throughout his life, extensively he has written on this one word, FLOW, flow. So all of us know the spelling of the word flow. My proposition is to internalize it. The difference that I make to it is not just speaking about flow and the merits of flow, but if you inherit it, like you speak what at home? Tamil, Malayalam?
Tamil.
Yeah. So now I don't know how to speak, but you can speak it so fluently. You have internalized it because for the past so many years, you're speaking the language. You can also understand the dialects that in Chennai, if you go here, then they speak like this. Here you go, then they speak. You can even understand the dialects. So on similar lines, because I'm engaging with the medium for so many years, it has given me this anchoring. And I have internalized the word flow. So that is very central to wow.
Correct. I mean, all the chakras also is based on
aligning yourself.
Yes, correct, great. So this is so beautiful, such a beautiful concept. And I see some jigsaw puzzles.
Yeah. You can pick any one.
Okay. So this is the jigsaw puzzle that I have.
Yeah.
And we're doing some activity.
Show it straight, the baby. Yeah,
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you see the book, the same baby with the social media. And this toy is going to increase. And that is my big concern. I'm so glad that spontaneously you lifted a jigsaw and it turned out to be the central message. You could see it in the book itself on the 4th or 5th page.
So here's the page.
Yeah. So these are the 3 visual reasons as to why I conduct the session. You could show the audience. The first visual reason is according to the 17 SDGs, wellness is the third.
Okay.
So it is not something which I am doing sitting in a valley in Flame University in Pune, but it is a global concern. And how do I address this global concern in my own manner, which I have understood. The second one, you see the x-axis and the y-axis, the
This
center
one.
visual is showing the GDP of our country in India, which is
very high,
which
as
is
against
high,
the happiness.
and it is but the happiness quotient, even our neighboring countries have got a greater happiness quotient compared to India. And my proposition is, if India has given spirituality to the world, we should have been on number 1 over there when it comes to happiness. Why are we, not even on 100? So it's a big concern, and WOW is a small step in that direction.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. And the third one, the jigsaw which you took, is the graphic of that baby with the social media.
Yes.
And that toy is going to increase. You can ask yourself, 10 years back, there were lesser elements in the toy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if I know this tsunami wave is coming towards me, I might as well find a solution to it rather than keep on brooding and cribbing.
Right.
And that's why the solution is WOW.
That's great. So now is there anything more that we have to explain on this?
No, this is on similar lines. There are 30 jigsaws. So you can show the page wherein all 30 jigsaws are there. So that's what the 2 pages after that, what you saw. That's what I'm trying to do for the youth. I'm trying to nurture creativity. That's fundamental to this book. Yeah. So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm nurturing creativity. And you can see the baby with the social media, the jigsaw which you took as one of, and the last row. Yeah. So the same visual which you picked up. So it is one of the jigsaws. And what am I trying to do? I'm trying to nurture creativity because creativity is a superpower for this generation. Because data, patterns, knowledge
There are a
Is
lot of stuff which I have already read in this book, which I wouldn't want to tell. I want the audience to read the book
Yeah.
and understand what it means
That's
actually.
nice. That's nice.
And this is what the calligraphy and the flow, what you were trying to explain
Yeah.
today, right? Thanks so much. So I strongly recommend students and also elders to read read this book. This book is available on Amazon, and also please do take the sessions to actually experience what wow is. Suniti, thank you so much for sharing this insights with us today.
Absolute pleasure.
I mean, I'm carrying a lot with me today
Thank
as a
you.
takeaway.
Thank you. I
I'm
hope
sure-
you get that remote for your jumping monkey mind.
Yes, and I'm waiting, more excited to actually experience it by taking a session with you. I think we'll take the session.
Welcome.
And also for the audience, please do, whenever you get an opportunity, do take this session so you can experience for yourself to experience, be associated creatively to calm down your mind.
And get a remote for your monkey mind.
Yes, and get a remote for the monkey mind. And to all our listeners, especially my dear students, remember to pause once in a while, breathe, and give your mind the space it deserves. And I strongly recommend to read this book. It's available in the Amazon, because this is not just a book. It's an invitation to rediscover the joy of being present and being happy. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Meteor Talks. I'm Jyoti Doraiswamy, and I'll see you again soon with another conversation exploring ideas, journeys, and possibilities. Thank you.